you sell this in a 7-Eleven at the counter.
Yeah.
How many people walking in there see this, feel free, relax, chill out shot, right? How many people really know what kratom even is?
Of that.
There is nothing free about that little diabolical blue bottle. I swear to you that it's Satan in a bottle, literally.
Oh.
I think I've never done heroin or anything strong like that, but honest to God, I can't imagine anything being more addictive than that feel free. I'm an alcoholic, and if there's a strong addiction, alcohol is one. Doesn't touch what I felt for feel free. I'm no
But
doctor. I have no idea how it worked, but I can just tell you this that like between the last time I quit, which was hell, and this time, which was a piece of cake in retrospect, it was a piece of cake. The only difference would have been the ketone ester. That was the only difference between those two times.
hey, this is Frank Yosa, and I've got a interesting podcast today. We got Mike here, and I've done other videos about my thoughts on kratom, kratom being not an alcohol alternative, but being more like a heroin alternative. And now it's finally being on the cover of CNN talking about people having addiction problems with it. And then, there's a TikTok video that went viral on, some kids accosting adults at the entrance of gas stations trying to get this feel free stuff. And I've been talking with Mike here for a while about his, struggles with feel free, and we discussed a possible solution and wanted to, go over his story and what ended up working for him, and maybe it'll help, other people. Thanks for, coming on and being brave.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, when did this all start? How did it start? How did you get the first one? And did you have other vices before that it was replacing, and it was replacing
Um,
something, worse, or what?
yeah. I'm an alcoholic, but I did quit drinking, and actually got on the disulfiram, otherwise Antabuse pill,
Uh-huh.
which means you're not able to drink.
Yeah, if you
So
have one sip, sometimes even a sip of orange juice with a
they tell you
0.1% of ethanol, you start throwing up.
they tell you that you can't use like, aftershave and all that kind of stuff if you're on it.
Any remote amount of
No,
alcohol,
I've tested
ethanol.
that theory. I've used aftershave, no problem. But I think they put it on there for safety.
Yeah, I've heard of perfume that, perfume has alcohol, so you spray it and then the person
Hmm.
starts gagging. So
Exactly.
it's great to block, allowing you to take, block you from taking ethanol, but it does zero for cravings and all that other stuff. It's like
Correct.
they
Correct.
give you a medicine
Yeah, the
to
root
force you to
issue is
stop.
definitely still there.
Yeah, what's the point? Okay, so then you were already sober for a while and then
Yes.
still had, you wanted to scratch the itch and started with that, or did you use that to kind of get you off of alcohol?
Actually, I did start kratom to try to get off alcohol,
Okay.
and it worked.
And that was powder?
Powder.
Okay.
Just powder. I found it. Don't recall how I even got involved with it. There was somebody on Facebook who knew somebody, and there was a vendor, and blah blah blah. They said, "Hey, it's no more addictive than coffee." Well, that is the biggest lie they tell you.
Right.
And you know what? I am a kratom advocate in the sense that I feel it does have its place, but it is abused way beyond the benefits it'll give.
Oh, I agree with that. And I've seen many people defend in the comments saying, "Oh, kratom's, great and
Saved my
amazing," but
life. Yeah.
all those people that are defending it are former heroin addicts, which is great. I think it is a great heroin replacement and
But at
heroin.
the same time, see, my issue comes in where it's great that they got off heroin with kratom, but you're still not figuring out the root issue. Because if you're still having to take kratom, why don't you stop that? Just like you stopped heroin, you know?
Right, right.
It's a
Well,
vice,
I,
and
th I think
usually there are
the
reasons
idea is
for
that
vices.
heroin is more likely to kill you, whereas kratom might
Fair enough.
might not
But
as
the
much.
problem is
Yeah,
kratom is so unregulated.
yeah,
You never know what you're actually going to get.
right.
Now there's reputable vendors, of course, but you can never be 100% sure that what you're getting is clean, you
But what
know.
you got ended up getting addicted to, which we're going to go into, the Feel Free product, we'll call them out,
Oh my
was,
God.
I mean, that
Yeah.
they're the number one seller. So if that's not,
Do you know why?
pure, then what is it?
They're a number one seller because they are beyond effective
Yeah.
in the
So
beginning.
that product, what they did is they combined super high dose kava with kratom, and they led with the marketing being like, oh, it's a kava drink, and even these kava
Botanical,
bars,
yeah.
the kava bars are like, oh yeah, here's a kava drink, and the
Hmm.
customer would be like, what are you talking about? That's a kratom. Like, oh no, it's not. Look, it says kava. Yeah, fine print in the back. It's like and kratom. It's
You know,
like
they got in trouble because in the beginning they did not disclose that there was kratom in their drink.
oh,
They
at
did not
all?
disclose that,
I
and
thought it's that they didn't disclose how much. You
there
think?
was a lawsuit actually that came about because of it, and they redesigned their labeling.
But I thought they didn't. I thought they still put kratom in the back, but it was buried in a proprietary formula. I don't think that they completely 100% buried kratom at all. I think they
You
buried
could be
maybe from
right.
the front of
I
it. Yeah,
heard
yeah.
different, but again, I haven't researched it
Okay.
personally, but that's what I was told.
Well, people can go Google that and figure it out. But
Right, exactly.
my understanding was that it was buried in a proprietary formula. But
But let's be honest,
yeah,
Frank, like you sell this in a 7-Eleven at the counter.
yeah.
How many people walking in there see this, feel free, relax, chill out shot, right? How many people really know what kratom even is?
They don't. And now the latest
And now
trick.
the problem is, yeah, now the
They're
fact is
changing the name. They're changing the name. They now call it Ketum. They call it Ketum now. And then there's
yeah, there are
another
so
name.
many different names. They call if you're on Facebook groups, they call it tea
Okay.
because some Facebook groups think that they're going to ban the group because it says the word kratom, blah blah blah, but they don't. But it's
Right.
just
But
a
as
fear
far
of
as
theirs.
actual people, companies selling the product,
Ketum, Ketum.
they call it Ketum so that
Hmm.
a customer that has just watched this podcast or something like this and said, okay, I'm going to avoid kratom. Oh, this look a new and improved different thing. No, it's the same thing. So that
Yep,
formulation is super high kava, and apparently the interaction is just an explosion. So
diabolical
it's not
in
just
a
the same.
fantastic way.
Yeah. Well, fantastic in the addictive,
Oh
highly,
yeah.
feeling.
Hmm.
I know one influencer that I've warned him. I said, you shouldn't be selling this stuff because the lawsuit's going to come down and your name's going to be on it. And he's like, I feel high when I take this. I wonder
That's
why.
that.
Because you are.
I mean, honestly, I guarantee you that Feel Free, the company, probably doesn't want that word thrown out there associated with their product either. They know it does, but they don't
Yeah.
want that word thrown out.
Yeah. Well, he was still making money from it. So how long ago did you go from like regular powder kratom to feel free, which then you were like, wow, this stuff is, exponentially stronger.
So it was two times actually that I started and then quit.
Mhm.
One was several years ago. I believe it was 2022
With the Feel Free
with the Feel
product
Free.
has been
Yeah.
all around since 2022. Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, definitely
absolutely.
3 years already.
Hmm.
Sorry, so somehow I was processing as the
Yeah,
year
basically, I think I was
2000.
one of the first people on the bandwagon.
Mhm. Okay.
And you know where I first found it? 7-Eleven, of all places.
Yeah. Okay.
7-Eleven, right there at the counter. Checkout.
$7 a bottle, and then
Oh, they've gone up to $9 a bottle now.
okay. So how
It depends
many?
on the shop you go to, of course,
Right.
but either $9 is retail, but some places will jack it up to 12, $15 a bottle because they know people are going to pay it.
Wow. So then how long how many were you taking a day, and how did you get off of it that time?
So when I first started, I took one, and it was, well, like let's say you get a Oxycontin from the doctor for, mouth surgery or whatever, and then you don't really feel the pain, but you just pop it anyway just to be sure, and you get that really, really nice feeling going on.
Mhm.
It's that feeling mixed with kind of a alcoholic buzz because kava works in the same sensors in the brain that alcohol does. It's a depressant, kava is. And kratom as well is a type of depressant in a sort. It can be a stimulant in lower doses, they say, and a depressant in higher doses. I find that it doesn't really matter if you take just a little bit or a lot. Basically, you just feel high
Mhm.
in the beginning,
Okay.
and then you don't feel high. and you chase it, and
Don't
then
feel high,
you
meaning after an hour or two, or the
couple
next
hours,
day.
and in the beginning 2 or 3 hours maybe,
Okay.
and then the further you go along, it's I think it was a good year into taking kratom powder, just powder. After a year, I just woke up one day and realized, it's not working.
Hmm.
And I figured, well, if it's not working, I'll quit, but I couldn't because that's when the withdrawal came in.
And that was with the powder or the feel free?
Powder. Powder
Okay.
is you
So
will withdraw
when
from
did
the
you
powder.
transition from powder to feel free?
So
Once the
I
powder wasn't
transitioned.
working?
I saw the bottles in 7-Eleven, like I said, and I just picked one up and figured, yeah, let's give it a shot.
But was that when the powder stopped working and you're like, oh, let's
Oh, the
try this?
powder had stopped working.
Had
Yes.
stopped working.
Hmm.
You're like, oh, let's try this brand.
I was just taking it to maintain,
Right.
you know.
So stop working is relative. You didn't feel any bump or increase, but it was without it, it was a big problem. So you're just taking it just
Correct. I mean, it
for
made me
quote unquote
function.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to take it just to function.
Right. And then, so then you went to Feel Free. So how long were you on that, and how many bottles per day did that increase to? And then you said you did ultimately get off of it.
Yes. In the beginning, it was 1 or 2 bottles a day. It's, expensive because it's basically one one dose of kratom, if you want to call it that. It lasts for the same amount of time, but whereas a bag of kratom pills or capsules, you can get, 300 for $30, and those 300 capsules can last you, depending on how much you take, days, a week, 2 weeks.
Okay.
Um, these little bottles are, well, now they're $9 a bottle, and that's just basically one serving. So
Right.
after 2 or 3 hours, you're going to need another $9 bottle,
Right.
and then another one. And the problem is the mixture of kratom with kava. I don't know the science behind it, but it is a diabolical concoction.
Yeah, I was talking to a TikToker who does a lot of science explanation, and he's going to be doing a video on this. And yeah, he said that he looked at it. It was a super high dose of kava, which is really doing something in conjunction with the kratom to make it,
Hmm.
exponentially.
I mean, it's kind of like drinking while taking pain pills for fun.
Right.
I mean, you mix those two together, you're about to have a good time until you're not.
Yeah, until
And
you're not.
so, I
So
mean,
how long did that stretch last?
oh, that started in 2022. It lasted a good year and a half or two, almost.
So how did you
And then
break it? How did you break free? They should call it break free instead of feel free. Break free. How did you break free of that?
there is nothing free about that little diabolical blue bottle. I swear to you, it's Satan in a bottle, literally.
Oh,
I think I've never done heroin or anything strong like that, but honest to God, I can't imagine anything being more addictive than that feel free. I'm an alcoholic, and if there's a strong addiction, alcohol is one. Doesn't touch what I felt for feel free. And the problem is, because there's no alcohol in it, I'd still get that alcoholic buzz, which my body already craved. It was just not a good mix. And I went from 2 bottles a day to basically switching all the powder out for feel free.
gotcha.
Why purchase both? Because if I'm going to do feel free, I'm going to do feel free. But that ended up being upwards of 10 to 12 bottles a day at the end.
Wow.
Sometimes more, sometimes less. But I'd
That
say
was,
average a case a day.
but you said you were able to, you said two different bouts
Two
of,
different times I started and stopped. One being the most recent. Yeah.
so when did, oh, so, but you stopped another time in
Yes, before.
2023? Oh,
2023, yeah,
okay.
approximately.
And how did that go? What happened and how long did you stay off of it? And what was your detox like?
Um, well, honestly, uh, so when I stopped the feel free, I picked up the bottle. I had to just to try to, you know, it's hard to explain. I was going insane. Quitting that stuff was a nightmare.
You're picking up the
And
empty bottle, you said, just out of,
no, the alcohol.
Oh, you brought. Oh, sorry.
I did not take
You,
the
so you got
interviews,
okay. So you used alcohol to get off of. So that wasn't
the
a
feel free,
successful. That wasn't a successful getting off of Feel Free. You just switched it out for something else that was addictive.
and then I
Maybe
ended up in
less.
the hospital.
Maybe less
Then I ended up in
dangerous.
the hospital
Right. You did
because
end
of
up in a hospital
because of alcohol.
the first time or after
Yeah,
getting
first
off of
time,
the.
first time.
Okay. But then when
Hmm.
you got off of Feel Free, you
But
got
once I was in the hospital for the alcohol used to break free from feel free,
gotcha.
I was in the hospital a couple days and they were, shooting me up with Ativan, IV, and this and that. And I mean, I laid it out to them. I told them what was going on. And so they helped me. And then I got out. I felt miserable for a short time, no energy and this and that. But I was able to function without feel free after that.
So
I
you
still
say
did powder though.
no energy for oh, we'll go get into that in a second. So no energy for a couple of days. We're not talking just like a little bit of a slump, just like a diabolical can't get out of bed type, just like
You know,
100 pound weight on your back.
before feel free with just powder, just the powder. I quit that before. And about 3 or 4 weeks in, I was still like hard to lift my head off of the sofa, exhausted
Yeah, that's what
every
I was
day.
trying to explain to people.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, Red Bull, not going to help.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
mean,
you went down the caffeine route and didn't
it
do
doesn't
anything.
help though. I mean, no matter how much, then you just feel anxious, anxiety, and jittery as well as being exhausted. It was terrible.
So you got out of the hospital for a couple of days, and then you went back to the kratom powder right away.
For energy, yeah.
Right. So you didn't
But
really
I didn't go back to the feel free. No,
didn't go back to the
not for
feel
a long
free.
time.
Okay, so you went back to the powder for a while, and then
Hmm.
how many months until you went back to the feel free because it stopped, the powder stopped working?
Probably almost a year. I would say about 8 months, nine
Okay,
months.
all right. And then you went back to the feel free, and then how many, starting with one or two bottles, I assume, and then how many bottles did you get up to?
I mean, when you've used it before, like I have, it's 1 or 2 bottles, but it just goes right back to where you were before. So it was basically a case a day for my wife and myself. So that's two
I
cases a
I
day.
wasn't gonna ask because I didn't know if you were comfortable bringing her into this, but
Well,
your
I won't mention
wife.
her name or anything like that,
Right, we
but
won't,
yeah.
but just so sorry to hear that. And then a kicker on top of all this was you were just highly allergic to kava. So
Oh my
you
gosh.
still had to
Oh
take.
my gosh, yes.
Let me do a screen share here of the, if you don't mind, the of the images.
Absolutely, please.
Um,
And it's a lot of it's called, there's many different things
this.
to describe it, but kava dermopathy is a real big thing.
So yeah, this right here is your the bottom of your hand with this, and then the top of the hand. I hope you can you see the top both
Yeah,
images?
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
The top of the hand with that redness, just crazy, but you were so addicted to it that even though you see it on your hands like that,
There's no stopping.
you couldn't stop.
No, I wore gloves all day long, and there's
Yeah.
another picture. I don't know if I sent it to you where the hand is just so red and inflamed and swollen. It's absolutely insane. Um, that was the most painful part
Uh-huh.
when it was that big red swollen and so I went to the doctor and I knew what was wrong, but I wasn't going to tell them.
Right.
And so they would just put me on prednisone. In fact, I am still on prednisone. I'm weaning off now, but it was a
Here
I lived on prednisone, high doses of prednisone every day for over a year.
I just found let's see if I can pull that one up. Let's see, how do I
Let's see here.
all these windows? Let's see. I have it right here. I found it right here, the bottom of your hand. So this one right here.
Oh,
Look at
actually
my
there's
screen.
a
If you look at the screen, I think I pulled it up. If you look at the computer,
yeah, yeah, I see that.
yeah.
I sent another one just now to your messenger.
Okay.
I sent actually two more, and what it does to your hands, and then I'll send another one of where it just dries up. And when it dries and you don't wear gloves and all that, that bottom one is where it just dries up if it's out in the air for more than 5 minutes. But that first one I just sent, that's where it's really swollen
Yeah.
and really just, it looks infected. it's not infected. It's kind of like it's a Kava reaction.
Right.
And then when I wore the latex gloves or the nitrile gloves to be able to function on a daily basis, that in the end, it actually gave me a fungal infection on top of everything else. It was just a disaster.
Wow. Oh, this is the dried. So that's the reddest version, and then this is the dried version here when it dries. Um, okay, so then I don't even know how you ended up contacting me. Maybe you're looking at the hard ketones, and I said I did not think that that would be the best option.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, that was it, I
And
think.
then I
Yeah.
said, hey, let's see if the ketone ester is more stronger on the energy side and blocking
Hmm.
cravings side. So I sent you some of the, I think it was the KE4 stuff.
Yes,
I said,
yes.
hey,
Hmm.
not clinically proven, but there's some anecdotes and reason to believe that this, could help you. I initially suggested it with caffeine because normally I don't suggest it with caffeine, but there is a little bit of a synergy effect to have
Hmm.
energy. But I think you ended up not doing that. So tell me about that. How many days, and how much did you take?
Um, so it worked out quite well because my entire family was out of the country for a while. And so I was able to just, I was at home and this was my time, right? So I bit the bullet and just cut it off cold turkey. And anybody who's watching this who has ever tried Feel Free, that it'll probably shock them because it's almost impossible to do that. However, it was destroying every aspect of my life. I mean, if you think about it, a case of that, if you get it at a low price, is over $100. And you think about 2 cases a day,
Wow.
7 days a week, that's $1,400 a week you're forking out.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And
Um,
at one point you said that you thought that my ketone ester was too expensive. You're like, it's too expensive. And I was like, well, yeah, if it
well,
saves you
that was
$1,400 a
just,
week, but that was when
that
you didn't
that's
think it
the
would
addict in
work.
me trying to justify my reasons, like,
Right.
oh no, I can't afford that. But in the meantime, here I am forking out what, 1,400 a week?
Right.
Crazy. But so I was alone for a couple weeks and I decided to just take the jump, you know? So I quit and it was not pleasant, but what I did was I tried to stay active, and that is the hardest thing to do when you're quitting this. You feel like just laying in bed and doing absolutely nothing, and that is the worst thing you can do.
So you
You,
started the morning with how much did you take of this stuff? I think you took like 20 or 30 mils, like a third or half of the bottle the
it was
first
more
morning,
like a third, yeah.
third of the bottle, so
Hmm.
20 mLs, and then you did that like every couple hours.
Yes, and
And what do you think would
honestly,
have happened if you didn't have that stuff and you just tried to go cold turkey?
I was lucky to have the energy to pick up the little bottle to take the 20 ml. But after I did, it was strange. It didn't make me feel good, but it didn't make. I mean, it took away that fatigue is the best word to describe it. It's not just you're tired; it's you are fatigued when you quit. And I think the most crucial part about it was taking that amount gave me the energy I needed to not stay in bed, which meant I was out and about, which is also so important. So it's just like
It's a
it's a
motivator.
step and
It's a
yeah, I
motivator.
mean
It
it's a
actually just
step in the
motivates
process.
people to get off the couch. Yeah.
Right, and that is the most important thing to do when you're going through I mean it is what it is, withdrawal.
Right.
It's key.
Okay.
Now, of course, you have stomach issues and you can have sweats and this and that and you don't eat much for a couple days and but surprisingly I didn't, there was no real anxiety when I quit this last time around. Now, can I say it was from what you sent me? I can't prove it, but it's odd that. This time around, I didn't have that, and this was the only difference.
And you didn't even take caffeine or any other
No,
vices.
nope. Usually, I lived on energy drinks, Red Bull, and whatever. But no, I had no caffeine, no coffee, no Red Bull, nothing.
And
I
also no
took
food, right?
vitamins.
You said you weren't because the ketones will it have I didn't know if I tell you this, but it is an appetite suppressant. So maybe that wasn't a coincidence that you weren't eating. That might have been
It probably wasn't a coincidence then, because I wasn't very hungry. No,
right. So then you didn't eat much, maybe half or a third of the calories that you might normally eat for the day, or even none.
some days it was like in the very beginning it was none.
So then you went 2 or 3 days,
But
20
I didn't feel
mLs.
tired. That was the crazy part.
You did not feel tired.
No.
Right. So then you went 2 or 3 days, 20 mLs, 3 times a day, basically a full bottle
hmm
per day for 3 days. And then now people are going to ask, well, you're just changing one vice to another vice. So how did you
Okay,
wean
well, I
off of
can
that?
I can I can knock that theory out of the water because after you sent me an amount, but I didn't order anymore, did I?
Right. Great. Yeah.
So when it was gone, right?
Yeah.
And I had no negative, no adverse effects, nothing. I mean,
No,
I still have energy and
no
feel
desire,
great.
no cravings for it,
No,
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 and
no.
then no cravings for so you went long enough to break the cycle for the first craving, and then you didn't
hmm
have craving for the second items. So how long was it until you were no ester, no kratom?
Honestly, it was probably just about 4 or 5 days.
Okay. Well, that's not huge. That's not
No, no.
bad.
I mean, I think day 3 and 4 are the worst. But once you get past day 4 and day 5, it's downhill from there.
And
It's coasting.
were you able to go back to work on any of those days? Because I know you didn't want to be like lethargic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
So you were at work the next day, or you had the weekend or something?
No, no, no. I definitely had the weekend. I mean, of course, whenever you're going to do something like this, it's best to plan it that way.
Sure, sure. But on day three, it was Monday, and you were back to work.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I mean that right there
And
is
beforehand, it would be 4 weeks, and I would still barely be able to lift my head off the couch, which I don't understand the science behind it, but the fact that it kept the fatigue away, even though I stopped using it, that it's crazy, but
well.
it worked.
I'm not a doctor, not a scientist, so
Right, neither am I.
there's probably some biochemistry explanation where something is going on where the heroin-like ingredients are just blocking energy metabolism, just blocking your system's ability to tap into glucose, sugar, energy source. It
Mhm,
just stops that. And then ketone ester is just a different pathway. The body can run on sugar, the body can run on ketones. No one experiences the ketones because everyone eats so much. You have to fast for multiple days to trigger this. And
mhm,
it's an emergency fuel source. And that might be what happened is you weren't able to get any of this fuel to work. This other system just turns the lights back on, just brought you back to baseline. It wasn't a stimulant. It's not a stimulant. It's not a caffeine. It's not what goes up comes down. It's just a more efficient fuel source than sugar, and your system was just not allowing regular energy to be created. But
right. And
yeah,
I would say that overall, and again, I've quit a couple times, and for the last time, pray to God. Don't want to go down that path again. But the differences that I saw the most were no matter what, you're going to experience some type of withdrawal when quitting Feel Free. There is no escaping it. It's like you have to go through that. But the difference I would say would be the effects were very mild comparatively to the last time. And
like maybe like getting off of caffeine, like it would be bring it down to that
yeah,
notch.
yeah, I mean a little bit of insomnia.
Mhm.
Um but the anxiety was not there. And honestly the craving wasn't there for the Feel Free.
Great.
And I can't explain it, but it just wasn't there. And I guess a lot of it's mental, and you have to be in the right place to realize that this is what you got to do. And a lot of it is mental.
Right.
But if you are ready mentally, along with what you sent me, I mean, I don't think anybody could lose with that combo.
And then, okay, so how long have you been off of it now?
It has been since June.
June. And so that's 3 months, just for in case time. That's been
hmm
3 months. And any cravings for regular alcohol either?
No.
So, okay,
I mean,
grow.
like an addict, an alcoholic's always an
Right. Okay.
alcoholic, but I mean, other than
Right.
when you take the pill, it basically wipes out any desire to drink because you know what's going to happen if you do.
Right.
And
So
I'm just
you're still
very
using antabuse, just having it,
yes, yes,
prevent.
and I use it just because it takes away the temptation. Because
Right.
if I don't use it, I always know in the back of my head I could, and just this once, just this twice.
Right.
But you know how that goes. I mean, it's with an addict, you can't go that route. Some people call it cheating. I call it peace of mind. So does my mom.
Right. And do I dare ask what happened with your wife? You mentioned that she was on the Feel Free as well. Is she still going through?
Well, it was funny because she went back to her home country in Europe where it's not legal.
Okay.
So she didn't have a choice. I
Okay.
mean, I
So
don't know.
she went the hard route as far as
Yeah, I
detoxing
don't
from
I don't know
something.
how that actually went down or how it was, but she's always been a little bit tougher than me in that sense, and it
And
surprises me a lot. But yeah,
let's see your
she
hands. How do your hands look?
oh, so much better. I mean, they're not perfect yet. I mean, it takes a long time, but they're a lot
They just
better.
seem a little bit red, like someone was,
Yeah.
sweaty hands. Like that's
And
no
I've
big
just been
deal.
doing a whole bunch of dishes a little bit ago, so they're a
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
dry and red.
I think that's night and day different than the
Oh
video.
yeah, yeah, and
Well,
it's incredible.
I'm super excited. I hope other people can, you know, learn from you and not start Feel Free. And I've had even people contact me saying, "Hey, I saw your video saying not to take it," and I was like, "Ah, he's over exaggerating." And then they took it, and
No,
they're
no.
like 5 bottles in
To
a day, and
anybody
they're
who
like, "I'm
watches
sorry."
this, I will let them know now. Look, I mean, I've done a lot in my life. There has never been anything that has been more powerful than that, and it will destroy you financially. Shoot, doing heroin is cheaper. It truly is. But of course, I'm not advocating for that. I'm just saying, like, this thing will drain your bank account, and you can't stop it.
Right.
It's just this vicious cycle. I mean, I was told by and there's actually another just as evil that's come out recently, the 7-hydroxy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's a whole different category, but I was told by people at the smoke shop, vape shop, whatever you want to call it. They said with the Feel Free and the 7-hydroxy, they'll have people, they say, jonesing outside the store at 8 in the morning, just waiting for them to open so they can get it.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it's that bad.
hopefully the FDA might finally come
The
down and
FDA,
crack on.
they're trying to get rid of the 7-hydroxy. And again, look, I'm not trying to say kratom should be banned. If it helps you, it helps you. But it should be a step to get off something stronger, and then you should be able to get off that.
Right.
If you can't, you got to find the root cause of what's the root issue.
Well, hopefully, maybe some researchers, that do clinical trials might watch this and give it a go and be able to
Again,
prove
I'm no
what.
doctor. I have no idea how it worked, but I can just tell you this, that like between the last time I quit, which was hell, and this time, which was a piece of cake in retrospect, it was a piece of cake. The only difference would have been the ketone ester. That was the only difference between those two times, and
And I love how you didn't
just
order. I love how you did not order again. That's actually a better ending to the story. That's not like normally you would think that the company would be like, well, you don't want to be on subscription, you can save 10%. But no, no, it's
hey,
actually makes
you didn't even pressure me for that. I mean, you heard my like we got in touch, and again, I'm trying to figure out exactly how that even was, but we no the hard ketones.
heart
I
ketones.
was just and again, you being a responsible businessman said, that's probably not the best thing for you once you heard my story,
Yeah.
which was very admirable because a lot of people are like, shoot, you want some? Sure. It's money for me. But no, you took the responsible route, and I appreciate that. Um,
Well,
I'm not saying that's not for other people. It's just probably, like you said, not the best for someone like me.
right.
And yeah, I mean, you sent me something on. I didn't even ask for it. You just said, hey, let me send you this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it helps.
And then it took you a couple months, didn't it? Because you were like,
Yeah,
well, yeah,
yeah,
I've got
I had
work
it
and I can't take a day off of work. I can't risk it. And
exactly.
like every month I was like, have you tried it yet? Have you tried it?
Exactly. And I started to feel kind of bad. And then the family went out of town. I'm like, you know what? Let's just do it. Let's see what happens.
Right.
And I
So what
was
are you doing with
pleasantly
all this
surprised.
extra? Quan, all this extra cash that you're not. You have a new
Trying to dig
truck.
myself out of the hole we got in.
Right,
Because
right.
trust me,
All
that's
right.
you think about it, $1,400 a week. That's average, right?
Yeah.
So you take $1,400 a week, multiply it by 4 weeks in a month. So what are you at? 4,000, 4 times 4,
5 grand, 12 grand. Yeah.
5,600,
Yeah. 56.
5,600 a month,
Yeah.
and you times that by 12 months.
Yeah. 60 grand, whatever, something
Yeah,
like that.
just on that little bottle.
Right. Well, hopefully the right people see this and try to put a kibosh on that.
If they
Well,
have any questions, they you can get them my info.
yeah,
I'm
actually, you know
more than
what?
willing to.
You know what? Maybe let's get you in front of Congress. Like they do that, right? They bring people in front of, Congress to hear about things. And hey, if someone wants to
Whatever I
get
can
a
do to help.
direct, yeah, great. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Who knows? How funny would that be that this video results in you being in front of Congress? That'd be crazy. You know, it's got to start somewhere. So
What a
at
name
least
to fame, huh?
got to start somewhere, and this is the first step.
I'll tell you
Very
what,
much appreciate it. I'm going to click stop recording and say goodbye to you outside of this, but
okay.
thanks for letting people hear your story.
And thanks for having me. And I truly hope that anyone who sees this, I got stay away from it. Just stay away.
Thank you.